What is going on, everyone? Today we're going over how to make your own bone broth for a gut reset. Bone broth is so popular now that it gets pretty expensive. One of the main benefits of making your own broth, besides making it the way that you want, is it makes the price hella cheaper. For example, the recipe I'm about to show you yields about a month's supply of broth. The retail value would be about $350. However, I was able to make it for only $50. If you don't know by now, I'm a huge fan of bone broth. It's not only good for your hair, skin, and nails, but it helps repair your gut through its collagen and glutamine profile that you get within the bone. The idea behind it is that you boil bones for so long that everything inside of the bones gets leached out into the water. And when you consume it, you're taking all of those nutrients. Bone broth is going to not only consist of bones, but cartilage and bone marrow as well. And inside of these components, you're going to have things such as collagen, glutamine, and essential vitamins and nutrients. Not to mention, bone broth has a strong amino acid profile. A major part of bone broth that is found in a bunch of health and beauty supplies is going to be called collagen. Collagen is a protein made for strength and flexibility, and it is found in tendons, ligaments, cartilage, bones, and skin. Collagen holds the body together like glue. Oral supplementation helps with wound healing and skin aging, as well as skin elasticity and hydration. In addition, collagen has been shown to reduce joint pain, reduce the risk of joint deterioration, strengthen tendons, ligaments, and increase muscle strength and improve body composition. Collagen is what gives bone broth its gelatinous properties. A high quality bone broth is going to be jiggly like jello. That's enough information. Let's get into why you all came to this video. Let's get into a bone broth recipe. Bone broth stocks can be made in various ways. You can have chicken, beef, pork. There are many ways to make bone broths. However, there are two main components that every bone broth should have. It should have bones, no surprise there. That's going to provide some bone marrow, which is a lot of vitamins and minerals. It should also have a cartilage element, so picture some chicken feet or pig feet. This is going to help provide more collagen and give it that gelatinous property that we talked about. So the first part of the equation is bone or bone marrow, and for this recipe we have some beef femur bones. I went to the butcher and asked them for some beef femur, which is going to provide a lot of that bone marrow that we need. And the second part of the equation is going to be some sort of cartilage or ligaments, and for this recipe we have some pig feet. It's going to help give that bone broth some nice collagen profile and nice gelatinous properties to it. I often get asked where I get my bones from. If you have a local butcher around, you're going to want to go to them and tell them what you're doing. Tell them you're going to make a bone broth, and they're pretty helpful. They'll suggest certain things to you. They'll help you keep the price down too, which is really helpful. So I've got these 7-quart Instapots behind me. I use about 3 pounds of bones per Instapot, and that will provide you with 28 cups. So it'll last you about a month for a fraction of the price that you would be buying bone broth for. And if you don't happen to have an Instapot, I do think it's a worthwhile investment. Not only can you make bone broth, but you can make many other things with it. It comes as a steamer, a sauteer, a broiler, just keeps things warm. It can make rice. And you can also use the bone broth that you sectioned out previously and put in the freezer. You can take it, pour it back in the Instapot, add some noodles, some ginger, some soy sauce. You have a nice pho. If you look online, you'll find no shortage of bone broth recipes. A lot of recipes will have you bake or broil the bones before you add them to the pot. However, I like to keep all that flavor inside of the pot, so I'll go ahead and saute my bones right inside the Instapot. I'll then go ahead and fill up my pot with some water. I won't do like a lot of other recipes and add onions, carrots, garlic, leeks, peppercorn. The reason being is that I like to do 36 to 48 hour bone broth fast. And when you're drinking bone broth only for that amount of time, the vegetables that you add in there really don't taste good after a while. So I'll keep it basic, and this allows me to change the flavor profile as I want while I'm doing my fast. I'll then add a few dashes of salt. I try to keep the salt low because you can always add more, you can't add less. There is one thing that I'll add to all my bone broth recipes, and that's gonna be this delicious ginger. I'll go ahead and add that in there before I get to pressure cooking my bone broth. A little bit later, I might add some turmeric and black pepper. That's another staple that I will have in my broth after it's already made. Once you've added all the ingredients, go ahead and hit that pressure cook button and pressure cook it for 4 hours. Dance, this dance. Can you do the diesel? Once your broth is done and depressurized, the Instapot keeps it nice and warm for you, so you can just take that out and begin straining. You're going to want to use a strainer to separate the bones from the liquid. And then after that, I'll allow it to cool because there was a lot of fat rendered during this cooking process, and we're going to want to scrape that fat off before we consume our broth. Once you remove the fat, you can go ahead and warm it back up and then season it how you'd like. Again, I'll say that my favorite seasoning is just some basic ginger and turmeric with some black pepper. And there you have it, that's all you need. This was an easy process, very simple, and it takes way less time than cooking the bone broth in the slow cooker. One other thing about keeping it simple with the ingredients is that it's way easier to freeze and it holds a lot longer. When you do decide to reheat it up, you can drink it straight as a broth, or you can make a nice soup out of it. So there you have it. I hope this was an easy enough recipe that you want to give it a try. And you can tailor it to the way you like. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but if you keep it basic in the beginning, you can always add flavors later. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoy this recipe.
Sorry.
Oh, you smell something?